I've generated over 2 million views posting tutorial videos on this YouTube channel, and today I'm unwillingly going to expose my entire secret formula into how I actually create these. This skill has allowed me to become a full-time content creator, to hit my first 10k month in Q4, which honestly blows my mind, and to meet a bunch of like-minded entrepreneurs on this journey with me. Now, I was really unsure whether I should reveal this, but as I've had so many of you guys asking, I thought it's about time that I stopped gatekeeping this information. This is a pivotal time on YouTube because AI avatars are everywhere. So if you don't want to create a personal brand on YouTube, you can do this exact method I'm going to show you, but for an AI avatar creating tutorial videos, which all of these channels are doing and having insane success with them. This skill is literally so practical and honestly can be used to create an insane business as a creator, even if you don't show your face. My videos are made up of two parts, the intro and the face cam section. So I'm going to take you through both of these. But before we do, the main reason why I'm creating this video is because Skillshare, and they're the sponsor of today's video. And the reason why I'm creating this, and I feel like it's a really cool full circle moment, is because I got into YouTube watching Ali Abdaal's videos, and he created an editing course on Skillshare, which is how I learned to edit in Final Cut Pro. So when Skillshare reached out to me and they mentioned about doing an editing tutorial, I thought this was the perfect moment for me to expose my secrets and provide value back to you guys, because this editing style has honestly changed my life. Before we jump into the step-by-step tutorial, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and go check out my full course on Skillshare, where I take you through the whole works of ideating, scripting, filming, and editing. So without further ado, let's jump into the intro section of my videos. The video I'm going to be breaking down is this video, which is my most viral video on the channel that is sitting at 398,000 views, which is absolutely insane. I edit my videos on Final Cut Pro, but because the majority of you guys use CapCut and it's free, I'm going to show you how to do it on there. Everything that I use in this video will be linked in the description below, all the resources, footage, and everything, so you can follow along with this step by step. So without further ado, let's jump into the step-by-step tutorial. AI-generated content is completely dominating the game right now. This YouTube channel, 10x Income, has gained over 250,000 subscribers and over 8 million views in just under 5 months. So now we just need to go into CapCut and start a new project. So click Start a New Project, and then I'm going to drag and drop the editing timeline, and I'm going to drag and drop this AI robot. Now we're going to go over to text, and we're going to add the first bit of text, which pops up and says dominating the game, because I'm talking about AI dominating the game with content creation. Then for font, I'm going to click Montserrat, bold, and italics, because I really like the way this looks, and then shadow. And I'm just going to size this off and frame it to the right hand side, and then make it a little bit smaller again. And then I'm going to move the robot over to the left, and as you can see, this editing timeline photos is not quite 16:9, so let me scale this up. Perfect. So this is what initially looks like. Now I'll just stretch out the text so it matches the same length as the two sections, and move it in. And now I'm going to add to the media, and we're going to add the arrow, which points obviously from the text to the robot. So now I'm just going to rotate this round, make it smaller. And this is basically what goes into for editing, all to just get like a 3-second clip. But this is what adds to hooking people, because it visually shows them what they're about to do and what you're talking about. So now we've got the arrow. Let's watch that back. And now it's time to actually animate these. So first of all, we'll start with the AI robot. In CapCut, we've got inbuilt animations. So we're going to click animation, make sure we're in the ins tab. And I'm going to scroll down and find the slide up animation. And then click this one, and then we're just going to increase the duration to 7 seconds. That's a nice time frame. And then we're going to go and animate the arrow, but for this one we're going to use a fade in animation. Okay, cool. And then we're also going to increase that to 7 seconds. Okay, perfect. And now we're going to add the movement. So you'll notice in all my videos things pop up and they move on screen, and I've had a lot of questions from you guys asking how to do this. In CapCut you can search rebound, and let me just quickly add this one to my favorites, and I'll show you. Once you've added to your favorites, you'll come under video effects and it should be there.
So I can just drag and drop this straight away onto the robot. And then I like to put the size of the movement down to 15 and the speed also down to 15. So let me play that back and show you what it looks like. So now when it pops up, you can see it's like wobbling on screen, which I think just looks really good and it adds to like the visual. So now we're going to do the same thing for the red arrow. I'm going to move the size down to 15 to match the robot, and the speed down to 15 also to match the robot. So let's watch that back. I don't know why the arrow is not moving the same amount as the robot. So let me play around with the settings and see if I can make it match the movement, but that's not also moving. Maybe more. No, that's not. Maybe increase the strength. Watch that back. No, it literally has no effect. Alright, well, I'll just move it back to normal. Let's see if that does anything. Okay. Well, let's move on. So how do we do this for the text? You have to right click the text and create a compound clip. This allows you to animate the text the same as you would the images. So in animations, we're going to go in, and I'm also going to get the text to slide up. There you go. As the AI robot comes on, I'm going to get the text to come on. And then we can use the rebound swing on the compound clip of the text and move the size of the movement down to 15 and the speed down to 15 also. So that is the secret revealed. I've had so many of you guys asking how you do this effect. This is how. Create a compound clip with the text and then add the rebound swing movement. Let's watch it back. So now that looks pretty cool. It doesn't need to be this long, so let me just shorten this whole section. That is an example of one of the editing frames that I use in my intros. So if you're serious about YouTube and you want to become a full-time content creator, then you should definitely check out my mini course, which I've partnered with Skillshare to create. Now what's crazy to me is that this all started from watching Ali Abdaal, and then I went to his Skillshare classes where he breaks down all the basics for editing in Final Cut Pro. Now this course is actually still available on Skillshare, so if you sign up today, you'll be able to go and access both my mini course and Ali Abdaal's, and this is everything that encompasses on how to become a creator, to start making those videos, and to kickstart your content creator career. Now Skillshare as a platform is really easy to navigate and has a lot of communities which you can join to build and develop skills. Whether you want to leave your job or go all in on side hustle or just develop the skills that you already have, there's a bunch of different resources which you can check out. And if you complete my mini course and Ali Abdaal's editing course and you don't know what else to do, Skillshare has learning paths in which it encourages you to take certain classes to develop your skills. So if you want to check out my mini course, Ali Abdaal's course, and everything else that Skillshare has to provide for free for 30 days, then I've partnered with Skillshare to give 500 of you guys free access for 30 days. So use my link below, sign up, and let's jump straight back into the video. So now let me show you the editing techniques in which I use for pop-ups. So in media, in the folder, there's a blue background and there's a dark overlay. So we want to drag the dark overlay on top of the blue background. I'm just going to quickly cut this bit. We come here and then we want to make sure that this isn't screen, and there we go. Now we'll be able to see the blue background, and now the blue background isn't quite 16:9, so we want to just scale that up. And then I'm going to drop the opacity. I'm going to drop the opacity just so it's a little bit darker, and then effects we're going to use for the vignette, and then we're going to drag and drop down to the blue background, drag the texture down a little bit more so it still stays brighter, but this exaggerates the stuff that pops up in the middle of the screen. So now let's play that back, and that's what you'll notice I use literally in every single one of my videos. If I have something popping up, I use that as the background, and then I have stuff popping up. So now we're going to add the Social Blade screenshot of the channel. Drag and drop that on top of the timeline, and then we're going to scale this down to fit in the middle of the screen. And now I'm going to click animations, and I want this to slide up also. So let's scroll down and find the slide up animation. And then effects, I want this to rebound swing the same as the other ones. But you'll see, look, here, it's moving actually inside the frame. The whole clip's not moving. So what we're going to have to do is undo the animation and delete the rebound swing. And then we're going to right click, create compound clip. And now we should be able to drag and drop the rebound swing effect, and it's going to move the whole item on screen. Now I'm just going to change the settings down to 15 and 15. And there we go. So now it's got the pop-up effect, and it's actually wobbling around on screen rather than staying in the same square but wobbling around. So now we're going to go over to animations, and we're going to do the slide up animation. So click that, and now it will slide up and then it'll wobble in place. So let's watch that back. There we go. So now we don't need it to be this long, so I'm going to shorten this section. Then we're going to go over to media and add the next section. This is the YouTube banner from the account, so I'm going to drag and drop that on there. And then we're just going to scale this down. And because there's a section of this I don't want, go down, it's got a rotate tool, it's got a mirror tool, and also has a crop tool. So you can crop stuff directly in CapCut. So now I'm going to drag this back. There we go. So this is what I want to show on screen. Move it up slightly, and then drag it in line with the other pieces of the timeline. And then we're also going to do the same thing for the channel views. So I'm going to drag this over the timeline, and then we're just going to crop this down because we only want the number of views and the date they joined, because we're talking about how many views they've gained in a certain time frame. So I'm just going to crop this down so you can see that, and I'm going to cut out the country of origin, Austria. And let's not. No, I'm going to crop that down, confirm. And now I'm going to crop it a little bit more just because there's too much white on screen. Okay, that's better. And now I'm just going to drag this back to the same length for the timeline. And then I'm going to scale this down and put it underneath the YouTube banner. Okay, I'm going to make it a bit smaller. Okay, perfect. So now we need to animate these. So same as the other one, we're going to right click and create a compound clip. This allows us to do the wobble effect without it staying in place. So I'm going to go up to effects and drag and drop the rebound swing. Move it down to 15, the same as one before. And move the speed down to 15 too. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other one. Right click, create compound clip. And then I'm going to drag and drop rebound swing onto this one and reduce the size and reduce the speed down to 15 too. Okay, now let's watch this back. So now I just want to animate the first social base screenshot out. So I'm going to do it sliding up like this. We're going to make this animation. Basically, the social blade screenshot will slide out the way, and then the other screenshot will move over it. So now I'm going to drag it on top of the first clip, and there we go. So it kind of overlaps, but I think it overlaps a little bit too much. Let me make this animation 7 seconds. Okay, so if you look closely, like, it overlaps. So we just want to drag this top clip a little bit further to the right, a few more frames. Let's watch that back. Okay, and drag it a little bit to the left. Okay, drag it a little bit more, just so it looks like it's pushing out of the way. There we go, that's much better. And now we're going to do the same thing for this one. We're going to animate and we'll click slide up. Okay, cool. Now let's watch that back. So the first one slides up and animates in section, then it slides out the way, and the next one comes up and they both come up. Okay, cool. So now we've just gonna make sure that they're the same length on the timeline, drag it back. Okay, perfect. So now this is a really cool effect, and you can make it in CapCut itself, is to do the highlighter effect. So this is how. Go up, add a text, and then I'm just going to quickly move my timeline area a little bit bigger so you can see everything. We'll drag this over the section. Then here we're going to remove, and we're going to do a bunch of dashes. Going to put this as Montserrat just because it gives it a thicker dash, and bold. Then we're going to change the color to the color of a yellow highlighter. So let's have a look at this one. That's a bit too green, so we need it a brighter yellow. Move it a little bit along to the left, and let's see, that's perfect. Now to get the dashes to join, we're going to reduce the character. So this is the space basically. So now I'll drag it down to the bottom and I'll show you. So as you can see, that's one thick line. Now it doesn't matter how long it is because we're going to use the masking tool. So I'm just going to scale this out a little bit by increasing the font. There we go. So that's like a good thickness. Okay, so now we need to be able to blend this. So what we're going to have to do is going to turn it into a compound clip. So go onto the text, right click, create compound clip, and then I'm just going to move this over a little bit so it comes in where we actually want it to be. And now we're going to go over and we're going to turn it into an overlay. No, that's not the right one. Color burn. Okay, so that has the highlighter effect. As you can see the numbers clearly through, and it's got the bright yellow. So now I've got it to roughly where I want it to pop up. So we just drag and drop there. So it's slid on fully on screen and the highlighter should appear. So now, how do we actually create the highlight effect? We use mask, horizontal, and then we're going to rotate this round. And then we're going to drag and drop it to the start. So this one, basic. Let me just quickly move this up to where I want to highlight. So I'm going to highlight the channel name, which is 10x income. So go back on mask and then draw it back to the start. So this will be the beginning of the highlight animation. Click keyframe. Then I'm going to move 5 frames along. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to drag it across as far as I want it to highlight. So I'm going to drag it across to there. And now I'll increase the feather just to soften it a little bit. And let's watch that back. Ooh, that's a bit too fast. So let's just quickly back what we just did. Unkeyframe. Move it another 10 frames just so it's a little bit smoother. And then drag and drop it over to what we want to highlight. I'm going to increase the feather by 1 more. And let's watch that back. That's better. Nicer, smoother animation like a highlighter. And now I'm just going to shorten it a little bit because I only want it to highlight 10x income, the name. Let's see, that's a little bit better. And I just want to make sure that it looks smooth, so I'm going to do a fade out animation. There we go. So I think that looks good. So now I'm happy with that. We're going to Control C and Control V and literally copy and paste it straight on top of the next one. Now I want to highlight the number of subscribers, so we're going to drag that over to the subscriber count, and then that will highlight. So once you made it once, it's much easier to apply it to other parts of your timeline. Then I'm going to Control C and Control V, the same thing, copy and paste that on top of this one. But I just want to drag that across, so when it's fully come on, we'll highlight the number of views. Now we're just going to edit it to make it look a bit better and a bit smaller. So for this one, I'm going to scale it down so it just covers the number of subscribers. There we go. And then for the number of views, we just need to make it a little bit longer. So if you click on the mask, and then we can go back to the second keyframe and drag it so it covers the entire views section. And now let's watch this back. So it slides up, animate in place, highlight, then fades out, highlight, highlight. Perfect. So now we'll just drag the timeline back in line, and there we go. Looking pretty clean so far. So drag and drop, and then we're going to do the next section of the video. So a hack that you can actually do on CapCut is that you can create shadows. So let me show you. So I'm going to copy and paste it, and then I'm going to paste it on top, and then the one underneath, I'm going to increase the size of this one by a few percent, drag it on the side, and then this is how you create a drop shadow. So I'm going to go into adjustment, I'm going to go down, and I'm going to basically move everything to -50. So brightness, highlights, white, and blacks. And then I'm going to go over to curves and brightness. Oops, go back up, scroll the brightness all the way back to 0, and then back on the video. Now we're going to basically drag it down so it has like the shadow effect. So let me move it down, and then to soften it, I'm going to create this rectangle mask, and let me show you how we do it. So I'm basically going to drag it across the whole section, and I want the mask to be touching the edge of the hard lines, the black lines. And then we're going to use the feather effect to basically soften this out. So let me just move this down a bit more. Oops, wrong way. Let me move it down the Y a bit more, and then out a bit more on the X. Whoop, missed. And now mask, we're going to go down and add some feathering. So I literally just use like 1. And now we just got to literally line it up precisionally, like halfway through the black line or a little bit more. And now let's play it back. And as you can see, boom, that's how you add an animated shadow to a B-roll pop-up. So now I'm literally going to do the exact same thing for the other two, but I'm just going to speed this up because it's the same thing. You don't learn anything more from these. And then do the same thing, remove the colors, drag it down so it's right hand side, mask it, and add the feather. So let's watch it back. Boom! So that's how you do the pop-ups like I do in basically all of my videos, animated in place with a wobble effect. Then you've got the highlighter effect and also the drop shadow, all created in CapCut themselves. So the next section, which is highly requested, is how I do my text pop-up. So let me show you. So when I have a section of text, I will literally just write out what it says instead of using like the auto captions. I'll just manually write it out. So I'll do one word, get the design exactly how I like, and then I'm just going to shorten this, and I'm just going to copy and paste it and write out each word. So I'm going to write has generated. Okay, so what are the other words? I'm going to quickly watch back the video.
Generated an insane
amount of views. So I'm going to copy Control V, Control C. I mean Control C, Control V, and then an insane amount, Control C, of views. Perfect. And now I'm going to drag and drop all of this, move it, make sure it's in the center. I'm going to take bold off because I actually prefer the thinner look for this when the text is bigger. Okay, cool. And now we're going to do the same as what we did for the first one. So we're going to right click, create compound clip. So we'll be able to animate this. And now I'm going to go over to animation. We're going to click slide up, in. Then we're going to click slide up. Okay, perfect. Okay. So it needs a little bit longer for the "and," so I'm just going to undo that. I'm going to quickly just select the 5 words to the right hand side of the first one, drag over and extend the length for the first one. Now I'm going to re-compound clip, create compound clip, and then we'll go on to animation and we'll do the slide up one. And as you can see, you can actually see the first word now. And now we're going to go over to effects and we're going to add the rebound swing. And this is how you have the cool wobble in place effect. And for the just text only, I like the preset amount. There we go. So I've had so many of you guys requesting how I do that. So there is the secret sauce. That is basically the entire thing. Let's watch it back. Dominating the game. This YouTube channel, 10x Income, has generated an insane amount of subscribers and an insane amount of views. Boom. That is basically how I put together the different sections for my intros. So I've dropped the secret sauce of how I did it, and this video got 397,000 views, and the intro is probably the most important part. So clearly this works. Try and apply some of these methods into your own videos. Now for the face cam sections. Let's cover how I do these face cam sections where I've got screen recording, then the footage of me, and I merge those two together. I've got these 2 pieces of footage for you in the folder below. So I'm going to drag and drop the screen recording first, and then I'm going to drag the face cam footage. We want to make sure that these are aligned, and then as you can see, I clap at the start of my video to be able to synchronize the sound from both the screen recording and the video. So what I want to do is synchronize the audio, then I want to remove the audio from the iPhone, which is the face cam footage, and I want to increase the audio of the screen recording from the microphone. So now I'm going to cut out any mistakes of the facecam footage, and here I'm just going to use the sound waves as a guide, and then I'm going to Command B and delete these sections, and then drag and drop to realign that like that.
Let me show you how to use this product, and we're going to turn a podcast clip from this.
Okay, so now this is where I'm going to create the facecam mask. So I'm going to keyframe this section, then click on masks, and I'm going to go rectangle. I want it to go from the full frame and then animate down into the on-screen mask. So let me show you how. So you start a keyframe, you move it about 5 to 10 frames
We're going to turn a podcast
to the right, and now we're going to basically scale down to a rectangle like you see in my videos of my facecam shot. And then I'm going to round the corners to roughly 10, so it gives a nice rounded corners edge. And then we're going to go into basic, and we're literally going to scale it down to around 50% and drag it to the bottom right corner. So now let's watch this back.
And we're going to turn a podcast clip from this, which is just
perfect. So as you can see, it will then scale down, and this is really good for adding a little bit of higher quality production to your videos. Even though it takes a lot more time, it's definitely worth it to improve the viewing quality of the videos. So I want to make this animation smoother. So I'm going to right click and show keyframe animation. And now I'm going to click on these little dots, right click, show graphs, and
we're going to turn
I'm going
a podcast.
to
We're going to
test
turn
out
a podcast.
a few of the visuals.
We're going to turn
I
a
think
podcast.
ease in one is my favorite. So I'm going to click that, exit this, and then I'm going to do it for each one because I'm moving in the X and Y axis as well as scaling down. So click this one, and then for the final one, I'm also going to go graphs.
We're going to turn a
ease
podcast.
in one. Right, so then I'll exit out of this, and then I'll just hit hide keyframe animation and watch that back.
Let me show you how to use this product, and we're going to turn a podcast clip from this.
So there we go. Looks really smooth. Right, so next I'm going to cut this section out because I made an error. I always make mistakes when I'm filming videos, so I'll cut this section out by hitting Command B, and then deleting this, and then dragging this along. So then I've got the animation goes into a small mask in the bottom right corner. And now I want to animate myself moving across the screen. When I pop up this next box, I want to move to the left hand side because the visual is focused on the right. So I'm going to keyframe where I want the beginning of the animation to start. And then I'm going to play until it gets to the point where I want to move my face cam. And then I'm literally just going to drag and drop the face cam over to the left hand side. And as you can see, this will automatically animate. Then because I'm actually facing away from the screen, I like to rotate it. So I hit the blade tool, and then I'm going to go over and then mirror the second portion of the clip so it looks like I'm facing inwards. So this is what it looks like. So as you can see, this looks just a little bit better. It's another little touch. Now I want to make this animation smooth, so I'm going to click show keyframes, and then I'm going to right click on the Y because I'm moving it up and down, and the X as well because I'm moving it. But I've not changed the scale, so I don't need to change this. So that looks good. It makes it smoother. Right click, hide keyframe animation. So as you can see, it looks way smoother rather than like the really slow. I like the pitch. So now it's time to add some effects to the actual B-roll footage of the screen recording. So I'm going to go over to effects, and then we're going to use the slow zoom effect, and I want to drag this underneath the face cam footage, and here I'm going to basically change the settings. So this video from Submagic is what we're trying to look at, so this is what I want focused on the screen. So adjust the settings horizontal and vertical, and then there we go. So that again has just added so much visually for people watching. Now I'm just going to drag the zoom across further, and then I'm going to keyframe, and basically I'm going to scale my face cam up just to again add some visual effects. So I'm going to scale it up to like 70%, and then watch this, move in, scale. And then again, I'm going to right click, show keyframe animations just to again make it smoother. So I'm going to use ease in 1. Just test out what the different ones look like. Ease in 3, ease out. Now that falls off the screen. So yeah, I definitely think ease in 1's the best one for that visual smoothness. And then we're going to go and do this for everyone because we've moved the position on the X and Y and also changed the scale. So I'll do each one, ease in 1, and then we're going to close the keyframe animation. And as you can see, this animates over and then it scales up. And now we've literally got visual just on the Luke Belmar clip. So I think this just adds a bit of depth. And now finally, at the end of here, I want to go back from the face cam to a full screen. So I'm going to go into mask, I'm going to click keyframe, and then we're going to do the reverse of what we did at the beginning. So we're going to increase the scale 100%, so it's back to the full size. We're going to put the Y as 0 and the X also as 0. And then this should put us at the center. And now we literally just need to extend the masking over the full screen like this. And now if you watch this back, it should animate out and then extend the full screen. Now we just need to use the mirror tool and flip it back. So when we get to, I'm going to use the keyframe to get to the exact spot, and then I'm going to Command B, then we're going to click mirror and it's going to flip back. And that is basically the facecam section finished. I'm going to cut out the clapping section, then I'm going to create a compound clip out of these two sections. So then we can add a transition from the intro clips to the facecam clip. So I'm going to create a compound clip and create a compound clip. And then we're going to go over to transitions. And then I'm going to search for the paper transition. And then we'll drag and drop that on the screen. And there we go. We've got a perfect transition into our facecam intro. And that is a wrap on the editing tutorial. So without this video turning into an hour-long course, this is basically how I edit my videos, which have managed to get this channel over 2 million views and allowing me to become a full-time content creator. So if you want fully in-depth into ideation, the scripting, the filming process, the editing, and a much more in-depth editing tutorial of me editing a full video, then check out the full mini course on Skillshare and support your boy, support the channel. I appreciate you guys. I hope this is valuable. Remember, you can do this for an AI avatar, but I'm going to have a full video on how to edit like these most viral AI avatars coming to this channel real soon. As well as I've been having a load of you guys ask me to do an updated viral short form content video. So I'm going to show you how to edit videos like these 3 editing styles on screen.
Bella Thorne made $1 million in 24 hours, and we're going to steal this business model together using AI.
Here are some cinematic sound effects that you should use in your next video. Download these for free, head to this website or comment the word sound. Got a lot of bangers cooking, so make sure to subscribe, and if you haven't seen it already, watch the first how to edit viral short form video here, because the new updated one is going to be building on those techniques. So make sure to check out Skillshare, support your boy. Shout out to Ali Abdaal for being the first person to inspire me to actually start learning to edit from his editing course that he posted on Skillshare. I'm still using the techniques that I learned from that course today. So that's a wrap on the video. Thanks very much for watching. I hope this is valuable. I hope to see you guys crushing it, making editing tutorials or any types of tutorials using this technique. I'll see you guys next week. Your boy's gone skis.